Alright, welcome back. So, I have been doing the testing of the advanced fief base way up here. And the testing I'm doing is not to pay taxes, to find out exactly what happens at what duration, how long it's been since you paid taxes. So if you remember where I'm at, right down there where my mouse pointer is, in that little gully right there is where I built the, quote, forever base that, again, I'm sure Funcom will change it at some point, but at this time, if you are above 800 meters, your base doesn't take any damage. I had parked my assault like right there, and that's about 875 meters. Up there's, I don't know, 906 meters. We're closer to like 960, 970 meters, and we're out here in the back. It is still a little bit dark, daylight's coming, but there's a reason I'm on right now, and so I have built every structure, and I have put every door except for the two big ones, and I even put a pentashield right here. Everything is set to co-owner. There's a reason for all of this. I want to find out, does the system, once it goes to, I think it's called default status, does the system yeet a door, actually physically open a door? I've had a Thopter up here. You can see the Thopter has taken no damage. I don't know how I had 1% on that, but apparently I didn't pay attention. But it's got every door type that is available, with the exception of the hatches, because I know that the hatches do not get removed. Any base that we have found mucking around, going about, finding these abandoned bases around, at no time was a hatch ever destroyed. So you can see right here, we are full. I just completely filled it. We have 500, well, 499, okay, fine. We have 500 now. And you can see there's 7 minutes left until we are at overdue. So this is 2 weeks of your normal cycle, right? It's due for North American servers. It is Mondays at 10 a.m. Central. I am on a Central server right now. Then you have 2 weeks of overdue, and we're about in 7 minutes to flip to whatever the third amount is defaulted. Will this change to defaulted? I'm not really sure. It started with due, now it says overdue, and then it goes to that. The question I want answered is what happens when it hits that? So 4 weeks in the cycle, you know, you've got your 2-week cycle, and then you got your 2 weeks of overdue. What happens on that day, at that moment, when it goes to whatever the third type is? And that is what I'm going to show you today, and hopefully we'll see something happen. It could just be a big, oh yeah, it's a letdown. Don't really know. So I started this base, I ran it a week with no power at all. There was no damage to it. I'll show you a little bit here. I haven't repaired anything. I don't even have any materials up here to repair anything. But I ran it for an entire week with no power. But I need specifically to test the power. I put that on there 4 or 5 days ago, the shield. I specifically need to test it with power to find out, again, all the misinformation about this game. What really happens? Is it the game shutting the power off, or is it a player that has just, I'm sorry, you missed out. One of your wind turbines didn't get filled when you came over to this console before you left, and you held Y for some reason. One thing didn't get filled. That's what we're here to find out. All right, let's go take a look, see where we're at. 45 seconds left. What I want to see is, do these immediately change to, what we found is a lot of the pentashields are changed to, if not all of them, public on a lot of these bases that are abandoned, and we assume that's because they haven't paid their taxes. Is that true? I don't know. And occasionally some of these doors just get deleted. And I have a guild member right there. He wants to come watch the show. We're going to find out what happens. Alright, 2 seconds, 1 second. And there it is. We switched over to defaulted. It shut the shield off. It says enabled, but there's no shield. Let's see. These are still set to... Okay. Okay. We got up here. No, Pentashield's still set. These are still set to co-owner. Didn't delete any of those. It did turn the shield off. Let's see if this got changed. Co-owner. Co-owner. Interesting. So none of the doors got popped. None of the walls got popped, ceilings or anything, but it did turn the shield off. It's powered, but it turned the shield off. So that is a good show of what actually happens once it pulls the defaulted status. The moment it goes default, your shield gets shut off. So you have 4 total weeks. And then bam. Now I wonder what happens after 13 days again. Well, we'll keep testing it and I'll find out, and we'll come back after that 13 days and we'll see. Alright, we are back with the power of video editing, and it is gonna pop on 6 weeks of not paying any taxes on this base. We have just less than a minute. So what specifically happens at defaulted amount? So the 4th week, so you got 2 weeks of unpaid, you've got 2 weeks of overdue, and then 2 weeks, and just keeps going. Starts with defaulted. It deactivates the console's shield, but power still works. So those that are thinking that the game is shutting your power off, it is not, because I can still turn this on. But it doesn't do anything. There's no shield because we are in defaulted status. It won't allow the shields to power up. What I'm curious is, will this change to 4,000 when it hits the next, and does it change to defaulted times 2? I don't know. Let's find out. And importantly, let's see if it does anything like change the Pentashield to public. Oh, so it just added it. See, it's weird. Why isn't it doing the full 4,000 amount? That's odd. Alright, so it's still defaulted. Okay. Just out of curiosity, will this power up? It does power up. Unfortunately, nothing happens when it powers up. Like, if I do this, I think the Pentashield will actually come on. Pentashield's still set to co-owner. Oh, wrong one. So the Pentashield will still work. So when you find these abandoned bases where even the Pentashields aren't working, it's not because the game has shut it off. It's because it ran out of power. It doesn't have enough, like right here where it shows -6, it doesn't have enough to power whatever is still set to active. So let's go around and we're going to take a look and see into 6 weeks without paying taxes. Has anything happened? Now granted, we are above 800 meters, so nothing's happening for that reason. I just want to see if the game causes anything specifically. Wow. Nothing there. Let's check this one. Still set to co-owner. Alright, so that doesn't do anything to any of these. They're all still set to co-owner, so nothing got changed to public. Check on this. Say it's been 6 weeks, and it's still the same. One last little tidbit before we go. To show you the height here, do you see how I can go up all the way there? If I put... No, I can't because I don't have enough mats. I can go this, but I can't go one higher than this. So that's where I believe that the ceiling, the building height, is 1,000. It's probably to keep us from building up on the very top of the rocks, the cliffs, mountains, whatever you want to call those. But there you go. There is your definitive, if you want to call it. Nothing happens on the second defaulted status. There is a scout ornithopter at 877 meters. It's almost impossible to even get it there because it doesn't want to fly at that point. And we are clear up here. No damage, even without a shield. Again, Funcom could change it at any time, so do at your own risk. But that shows you what happens with the various time frames with the shield. The game, as soon as it hits defaulted, turns off the shield, disables the shield in the console itself. Other than that, the game isn't doing anything else special to the base when it's abandoned, even in Advanced Thief, with exception to what the storm is doing by running through and wrecking your base. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody.